Jay, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you along for a weekly reset, and we are jumping right in the bathrooms. That's usually where I start because it's one of my least favorite places to clean. Though I've gotten into such a rhythm of it, I don't totally mind it anymore, and it just feels good to get it done. And I have like such a strict routine of it. It makes it pretty simple. The one thing that I hadn't done in a minute was refill the hand soap container. So I was doing that today, which I did that all around the house, and that always feels good. Like, all right, we have soap. Again, not that any of them are out, but they get low. So redoing that. I use a cast iron soap with water mixed and with the foam hand soap dispensers. That's been what we've used for quite a few years, and I've just stuck with it. I like it, it's easy to do, and just a better quality soap to be using, so that's what we do. I always kind of prep each room. So did the hand soaps, I get the toilet ready, and then let it kind of just sit for a second, getting more toilet paper in there, emptying the trash, just all the things. So in each bathroom of our house, my goal is to use one microfiber cloth. So I start with the sinks, do both of those, and then obviously end with the toilet. I'm not doing the toilet and then going over and cleaning sinks, but less laundry is always so helpful. I love it. If we dance in the blizzard, we are not getting cold. So keep on dancing, baby. Once a week I always water the indoor plants. This summer though, we were gone a lot, and usually the day that I do that is Mondays, like the bathrooms. I do the bathrooms Mondays and the watering on Mondays. So whenever we're out of town, it messes me up and I forget. So the plants definitely needed some love. I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry. But we brought it back. All right, we had to have a little kid break here. I don't know if anyone's children are obsessed with Dr. Seuss like my son is at the moment. And we had gone to see a movie, and there was a trailer for a new Cat in the Hat movie that's coming out February of 2026, and he was so excited. So this is his Cat in the Hat. He like balances, holds a million things, and does all this stuff. So that's our little Dr. Seuss lover there. But we are so excited. The movie looks so cute. If you haven't seen the trailer, you should check it out. Trying to get the front, the entryway vacuumed and cleaned, and then eventually the kitchen. Try to do that every day. It doesn't always happen, but it is on my motivated mom's list of things to do, is to sweep or vacuum. I prefer vacuuming because it's easier, but sweep or vacuum the entryway and the kitchen every day. I try to do it, and sometimes it just doesn't happen, but today it did. Does anybody else keep their drying towel on their shoulder like that? My grandma, who is very Italian, I have these great memories as a little kid, and whenever I was with her, she always had a towel over her shoulder, and she was always cooking and cleaning, just doing all the things. And so I have taken that. I'm like, yeah, that's the perfect spot for it. Why doesn't everyone do this? So if you don't, you should start. It's just it's not even an Italian thing, but I'm going to say it's like, oh, it's just the Italian way of being in the kitchen, always having it there. I needed to, again, this wasn't hand soap, that's our dish soap there, but that needed a refresh. A hand soap out here. This hand soap is different than what I use in the other places just because the dispenser is different. So right now that's Everspring, which is from Target. I think I'm going to be switching that, and there's a brand called Attitude that you can get on Amazon, and it is EWG verified, which is EWG's the Environmental Working Group. So it just tests things for all kinds of different chemicals or anything that's just not good for our bodies or the environment. It tests and then rates them. So it's like cleaning supplies and makeup, skincare, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really great site to go to just to check those things. And I try to do that as much as I can. We don't always, you saw, like I had Lysol toilet bowl cleaner. So there's times when that's just what we have. But I do try to do my research and keep things clean and healthy in the house. that lovely jar right there is my sourdough starter, which I love. Everyone in the family makes fun of me because I talk to her. It's a female, of course, and I speak to her and just encourage her to make sure she's healthy and strong. But later in this video, I am making sourdough. I don't know if that's something that you do. If you don't, it is not as difficult as it may seem. I know it can be like, oh, that is just too much work to do. It is not, and it's some of the best bread that I've ever had, and it's healthier. You know, the sourdough is so much better for like your gut health. It doesn't have a ton of gluten. It has probiotics because your sourdough starter ferments, so it's just a really healthy bread and an easy thing to do. I find it to be super relaxing to make it, and it feels so good when I'm like, oh my goodness, I just made this bread from scratch. So it always just feels good. Okay, I'm doing something really good for my family, and it tastes amazing. So that'll be later on in the video. I'm getting that kitchen swept up after I cleaned the tables and the counters and all the things. Did most of the dishes. Trying to get the crumbs all cleaned up because that dark floor just shows every single thing. I wouldn't trade it for anything because I love it, but it does show a lot. Right, and here we are this day was a French bread, like a baguette type sourdough, which works so well for the kids and stuff, just to be able to like cut slices, and which they did this day actually after we did it. And it's super simple, so it's like all-purpose flour, water. It asks for olive oil. I have avocado oil at the time, and it was fantastic and yummy, and a little bit of honey and salt. And the sourdough starter, exactly. So you can see it there. It's like bubbly and super healthy. You have to use fed sourdough starter to make it rise, which all of these terms might be foreign to you. I totally get it. I'm gonna leave a link to the recipe that I used here, and it's by Farmhouse on Boone, who is a blogger. She has a YouTube channel and she's amazing, but she is who really got me started on sourdough, and she made it look so accessible. I thought, okay, I can do this. I can do it, and I have been. I don't do it as often as she does. She's like constantly doing stuff. I would love to get to that point. I am not there yet, but I love making it. It's simple. There's so many different recipes. It's not just like a loaf of bread. There's so many things. You can do pancakes and waffles and biscuits and pizza crust and cinnamon rolls. There's so many options for it. So something to consider if you're looking into some healthier options, and bread can be tricky buying anyway, just trying to find some bread that has some sort of nutrition in it. So making your own is a great way to do it. And right here I was just feeding the sourdough starter again. So once you use whatever you're using, then you go give it some more flour and water. That's what feeding it means, literally just adding flour and water to it, mixing it together, just so it has more food, so it can ferment and bubble up and be nice and ready to, make incredible bread for you. there is a little bit of planning that has to happen when you're making sourdough. So you can't be like, oh, I want sourdough tonight for dinner, if you haven't fed your starter, because it has to sit and ferment and do, you know, all the magical things that it does. And that can usually take like overnight. So you'll need to start it the day before, in the morning, feed your starter, let that bubble up and get, you know, really fermented and ready to go, and then make your dough, let that sit and bulk ferment, and then the next day come and see. So this is, I had just done it, and then I set it on top of our stove, and then you'll see later, it'll be the next day when I actually end up baking it, and you'll see it's like, you know, doubled in size, all those things. Another part of resetting for the week is bills and just getting all of the mail stuff organized. Again, since we had been gone so much over the summer, I just was not organized. So this day I got everything back and organized and set. So we are good to go. Now most of our bills are auto pay, so I just like to file them and put things where they need to go. So that's what we did there. All right, you can see this now. See how it's like, it's so much bigger there. You punch it down, that's super satisfying. But the dough looks good and it's ready to be baked. So the other part of this, for the French bread, you shape it, and that's like a French bread mold there, and that can go in the oven. So that's how I bake my French bread. You don't have to have that, but it does make it nice, and the shape is really like perfection. But then again, it has to sit here covered for, I think this was 4 hours. So then again, it will double in size, and then it'll be ready. So there are steps to it. You can't just decide, you know, an hour before you want it, okay, I'm gonna make some sourdough. So there's slight planning with it, but super simple to do. And all of this stuff doesn't take a ton of time to do. So you're doing like, you know, 10 minutes on one day and 10 minutes the next. So super simple and so yummy. But there, cover it, let it sit for a few hours, and then come back and voila. I am scoring the top. This is, so like, you'll see when it comes out of the oven, it kind of, it doesn't explode, that's not the right word, but it grows, and you can do like different designs. There's some people that do the coolest designs when they score them. I am not that artistic yet, but I'll get there at some point, I'm sure. There's Austin, my little helper, getting it all put in and ready to go. The other thing that we do here in a second is throw ice cubes into the bottom of the oven. That will help just bring like a golden crust to it. Having just some kind of moisture in there creates this just a really nice crust. She can't drop them there, that's okay. She got them in. So that's a little tip and trick. Here we go, get it out. I want to thank you for joining me today, for being part of my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe would mean the world. Look at that, it's so pretty. I love it so much. As always, thanks for joining me on my little corner of YouTube. Have the best day.